This is a My Number card, and in fact it's my Number card. That never gets old. If you live in Japan, you probably have one of these, but did you know that the My Number card is evolving? What started out as a simple tax identifier is growing. It's grabbing all sorts of new functionality, and it's becoming a bit of a monster. Let's talk about it. So the My Number system began in 2015, and people who've been following the channel for a while know that I really didn't like the idea of it when it first came out. It was originally introduced as basically a tax number, so you'd have a single number so you could do all your tax reporting easily through that number, and the government would find it easy to keep track of who you were for tax-related matters. But it soon became apparent that the government wasn't really planning to stop at just a tax number. Japan traditionally has not had ID cards for citizens. You know, unless you had a driving license, then, you know, for ID you'd have to rely on something like your health card, which didn't have a photo on it, or possibly even your student or company ID. And for quite a few years, the My Number cards were not very popular at all. There was quite a low rate of adoption of the cards, and it seemed like it was kind of stalling as a system. And then the pandemic hit. So during the pandemic, the government was giving out cash to citizens to help with the cost of living and so on. And the way it was administered was through the My Number system. And at one point it was much quicker to get the payments if you had a My Number card, and at that point adoption of My Number cards ballooned. It went from less than half the population having My Number cards to now it's something like 80% of people actually have a plastic My Number card. Now everyone living in Japan has a My Number, 12-digit number that's used to keep track of your information for the government, but the plastic card is something you have to apply for, and not everyone has one yet. So when the My Number system started, the only real use for it was to help with your tax return. Since then we've seen My Number required for things like international transfers. If you want to send money abroad or receive money from abroad, you have to provide your My Number to the institution that's handling that transfer. Soon after that, we found that My Number was now required to open investment accounts or to have an investment account. Last year, health insurance cards were phased out and they were incorporated into My Number. From this year, you have the option of incorporating your driving license into your My Number card. And the next step for foreign residents is Zairyu cards. So Zairyu cards are also going to be included in My Number. Now, those last three are not yet compulsory. So as of 2025, you can no longer get a health insurance card in Japan, whether that's Kokumin Kenko Hoken issued by a local authority, or the Shakai Hoken version issued by your company, and so on. But if you don't have a plastic My Number card, or you haven't connected that to your health insurance, you still have a different option, which is to get a certificate from whichever organization issues your health insurance. So you can get a certificate, which is basically a paper that explains your health insurance information, and if you have one of those, you still can get away with not using the plastic My Number card for your health insurance. Right now, merging your driving license into your My Number card is still voluntary, something that you have to apply to do. The default is still to have a physical driving license that is separate from your My Number card. However, if you choose to include your driving license information in the My Number card, you'll no longer be issued with a physical driving license. There are several drawbacks to this, including not being able to easily show your driving license information because that information is locked inside the My Number card. People can see it if they need to, if they're authorized to, if you give them permission by unlocking the card. This would be things like the police or car rental companies or similar. But there is a big disadvantage not being able to show your driving license easily to people. Now, to make up for that, renewing a driving license will be much quicker and much easier if you have it on your My Number card. For example, those lectures that you used to have to attend in person, you can now do them online. Similarly, from next year at the earliest, you'll be able to apply to have your Zairyu card included in your My Number, so you'll no longer have a separate Zairyu card, but instead that information will be locked away inside the card. And this is going to present some problems problems, I think, because while the police and immigration are likely to have the kind of machines they'll need to read your Zairyu card information from your My Number card, other people may not. So that hotels or shops or random people that might be asking you to show your Zairyu card currently will probably not be able to ask for that in the future. Kind of a mixed blessing there, I think. Now, the issue with having all of your information in the one My Number card is what happens if you lose it. Right now, applying for a My Number card, getting your My Number card's digital certificate renewed, and getting a new My Number card can be quite burdensome and time consuming. So you generally have to make an appointment, go into your local authority office and get your card there. If you lose your My Number card and your driving license and your Zairyu card are on there, then you're gonna be in a bit of a pickle until you can get it reissued. Because of that, and because of the obvious teething issues that I can see happening around driving licenses and Zairyu cards, I will not be electing to put that information on my Number card for now. I'm going to wait a while. At some point it's likely to become compulsory, much like the health insurance was initially completely voluntary and now it's kind of semi-compulsory. I can see the same thing happening with driving licenses and Zairyu cards in the future. So I'm not really in any kind of rush to speed up that process. For now, I think the benefits of having separate cards for these different things very much outweighs the drawbacks of, maybe having to go in to listen to a lecture for renewing my driving license. But how about you? Do you have a plastic My Number card? It's quite difficult to get by without one nowadays. Are you planning to move your driving license onto that or your Zairyu card in the future? Do let us know in the comments. Let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.